This show is brought to you by
6 years old, maybe. Productions.
Yo, crew members, what we doing?
What it do?
Yeah, so unfortunately, got a little bit of sickness running through Andy's house. His wife was sick, and now his son and him are both sick. So I hope they feel better. I hope he comes back in next week.
Welcome back to school.
Oh God, just so much nastiness and germs. But we weren't entirely sure what we were going to talk about with this episode today. We were definitely excited to come back in because we just had the wedding last week for his cousin. You know what I mean? That was a great time. And then Sony, they decided to give us one of the most memeable fucking things that we have seen in a very long time.
Absolutely. Hey, why don't you go ahead and roll a recap check to tell everybody what happened? Doesn't matter. You're the only one rolling, so.
Damn it. So let's go ahead and let me not bury too many of my leads. First and foremost, we got my boy, the one and only, the DM extraordinaire from the Nat 1 D&D Adventures. We have Mr. Mike Clyburn.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Had to give it to you.
How you feeling? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm doing all right. Yeah, man, it's been good, man. Again, with having the wedding last week, we didn't have D&D last week.
Didn't.
You know what I mean? So I know Dan is chomping at the bit to go ahead and get back in.
I'm ready for it, too.
And I'm gonna go ahead. I'll drop the actual.
Sure.
I'll drop the audio in right now.
Hey, I'm DM Mike.
And I'm Wes.
Do you like D&D?
Do you like brand new players who have never played before?
Do you like rolling a critical success on a critical fail of a podcast?
That is exactly what we have for you.
We're talking about Team Clock, a Natural One D&D adventure.
Drops every Thursday.
Bright and early at 6 a.m. You can find us on Twitter at Team Clock Pod and at patreon.com/Team Clock Pod.
Go get it.
See you soon.
All right. I'm corny as shit, aren't I?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's half the fun. Look, that's a dad move is what that is. You should just appreciate it for what it is.
Oh, I love it. So we're going to talk about the PS5 Pro, which is something that we just got information on. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the comparisons, not only between an Xbox Series X, but also we're going to talk about a comparison with the regular PS5. And I think we'll have a little bit of fun with talking about certain things about this. You know what I mean, especially the price when we get to it.
Oh, I'm here for the fun.
All right, so let's go ahead and start it off with going up against the Xbox Series X because that's the actual competition.
I mean, why don't you just run down the basic stats first?
Okay, so the basic stats of the system is we are going to be getting a 16 gigabyte RAM on this thing. We are going to be getting a 8X Zen 2 core. When you talk about the CPU, the GPU is supposed to be 67% faster. Well, no, sorry, 67% more units, 28% faster than
gotcha.
the base PS5. And then the output is 4K 120, which is something that you don't normally hear that much. And it also supports 8K. Now, the biggest improvement with this one is the 2 terabyte solid state drive is what it's coming with.
Yeah.
And it still has the ability to throw in that slot for more storage. I mean, if you wanted to get another 2 terabytes.
So the thing that makes me curious is like how much of that is usable space, because they all have to have some of it partitioned off. Right.
Yeah.
So
user interface, something.
How much of that is usable space? If it's like, if it's like 1.75 terabytes, it's all right. It's fine. You can work through. But I'm just curious about what they're doing.
I got what you mean. And then the final thing that I have is the backwards compatibility, which is something that PlayStation isn't necessarily known for. But you can play the PS4 games and also the original PSVR.
That's good.
Now, I want to start this off by let's just look at it.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look.
Oh, let's look at it. Go and pull it up. Pull it out.
So I just went ahead and gave you one right there.
Appreciate you.
Got you.
My first question is, with the Pro, right? Yes, you did a whole bunch of improvements to the system. Why wouldn't you also take the opportunity to upgrade the controller just a little?
Now, if you want to talk about the controllers, like I would definitely say this. I mean, the DualSense, or
Yeah.
I mean that's the better controller out of anything that we've had so far in the newer gen.
Right. And
what do you mean by working on it?
You're playing with haptics. Do some more cooler stuff, right? Like increase the sensitivity on the triggers, and maybe add like a little squeeze pad on the back. So like how tightly you hold something. Like you have to be developing software for it too. Like it's not just all hardware, but like you're making your controller pivotal for your games. Like I find that like third-party games and certain first-party games are just like, it's still a controller. But on certain things like an Astro's Playroom or
I am super excited for the new one too.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that shortly because I really want to play that. However, just take some additional risks, right? It feels like you want to chase Nintendo in how they handle their controllers. Get innovative. Don't rest on your laurels, right? Like jump in there and do something.
And I mean, you know that they can reach that because of what we got with the PSVR 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because granted, it's an expensive, piece of accessory, but at the same time, it is also incredible.
Right.
Like insanely immersive. Like you get lost in the sauce very quickly with that type of stuff.
Yes, sir.
But like, I understand what you're talking about with the haptics. Like, now since you explained it with the haptics mainly, I mean, now I'm understanding much more what you'd want from it.
Like start playing with hot and cold a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but
that would be cool.
Right. Like in like again, the software dictates what you do with the controller, but like, man, you could really have just evolved everything a little bit here. And to me, it will be a missed opportunity until the next console generation, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Now, the biggest difference visually with these systems is with the regular PlayStation 5, it's just a solid white, cover on the outside, on both sides.
Yeah.
And on the Pro, you actually have these 3 lines.
Yeah, like little black bands.
Yeah, running through like the top third of the system.
I think it's a nice way to visually, like,
differentiate.
Separate them a little bit.
I can understand that.
And it lends itself to additional design stuff on it. So like when you get them custom done, you can use that as like a border and like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, customizing the shells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, there are some things that I'm a little confused about with this.
Oh, fire away.
So, if you want number one, this comes discless. It is digital only.
I came that way too.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yes. So it being all digital is certainly a choice, right? That doesn't bother me.
No.
I'm very okay with it being digital only, but I know I'm not the only person in the world, and I don't expect Sony to make things just for me.
I mean, look, I was fully expecting to get the digital version of the original PS5.
Right.
When I was going for it back when we had to do the lottery shit.
Yeah.
But when we were doing lottery stuff, at that point it was I get whatever I get, and trust me, I won't be upset.
Right. And I got a disc list. That's all I really wanted. I didn't. Kids and all that kind of stuff. I was just like,
that makes a lot of sense.
I just want everything digitally. The library's still there. I can play it whenever I want. But I feel like it's a choice to force this on people in this way, especially knowing that there is an attachable disk drive for an extra charge.
So the attachable disk drive is an additional $80.
That's crazy. And then also the other thing about the PlayStation 5 Pro is that the stand that you use to stand it up is another additional charge.
Yeah, that one I'm not entirely like that makes so the only way it looks like you can have this thing without the stand is like a wall mount. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's weird.
To where like it'll vent properly and you know what I mean, act the right way with the fans and such.
Don't you be acting up.
That's not.
So like already we're probably looking at another $100 on top of the system.
Yeah, the stand itself is an additional $30.
Yeah. So that's $110.
Yeah. And then another thing about it, like again, I'm not like so I'm just talking about just the way the design looks. I'm not talking like again, we already broke down the you know what I mean, like the CPU, the GPU and all that stuff, into which, you know what I mean, obviously it is stepping up in a bunch of places that the PS5 original didn't.
So let's talk about the design from the stand and the disk drive standpoint, right? What are you doing with that? Like, where are you putting it? Because the system looks so clean on its own.
Yeah.
The stand, okay. If you get that, you know where that's going. Where's the disk drive going? Are you standing it up or are you laying it down?
Have we seen anything with the disk drive on it yet?
I've seen the actual disk drive. See if you can find a picture of it, but it kind of looks like an eyesore to me, right? And a lot of the thing about the PlayStation 5, just in general, is it is a clean look. I remember when we did the unboxing, we looked at it, we were like, man, this thing is beautiful to look at. It's just a clean look. It's an accent
we just
piece
kept on talking about the
in
lines,
your room. Right.
Like it was curves.
The contours, right. Like that makes a big difference. When you have that disk drive off to the side, you're just like,
Okay, so it looks like there is a way to clip the disk drive into that bottom 2/3 of the PS5 Pro, and then you have the shell that goes around it.
I'm sure that attachment's an additional charge.
It probably is.
But like if you're just gonna have the disk drive stand alone on the side, brother, you know? It's just kind of gross to look at.
And again, like,
which doesn't fit the overall aesthetic, right?
One of my biggest gripes with it, and this is the thing that everybody is bitching about as well, is the price.
Yeah, so let's talk about the price.
So the price for the system itself is $700, $699.99, right? Oh, by the way, these are going to be coming out November 7th.
Okay.
Week before my birthday, but not my birthday present, let me tell you.
So that's the other thing. Who's this console for?
You can't necessarily say this is for like the pro players because there's nothing really in it to, you know what I mean, you're not getting like an elite, like, you know what I mean, I'm talking like comparison here, but you know, you're not getting like the elite controller and you know what I mean, like all of those like high end upgrades.
You just wanted some extra storage space and a little bit more power. But like my biggest complaint with this has always been, do we have the games to justify the increase in hardware? Mm-hmm. Right now, I don't think we do.
No. And one of the games that I did hear that would really show the difference is going to be GTA 6. I've been hearing a lot about that.
Perhaps. I hope so.
I mean, because like we've seen video comparisons of like PlayStation 5 versus PlayStation 5 Pro with like how it looks graphically, and you need to have an incredibly trained eye to be able to see a difference in this. Right. I agree. So it was just like, okay, I'm staring down $700 for the console, and then if I want the stand and the hard drive, it's another $110. We haven't talked about any games yet. No. Into which there's still $70 games.
Right. So I think they built this for somebody who desires to have the most powerful version of the console out there, who has a lot of disposable income, who doesn't care about what it necessarily looks like. They just want the play experience and the power.
Now, one of the things that fucking throws me with this, and I'm going in softly with this for whatever reason, I don't even know why.
Speak to me real low, real quiet.
Okay. I'll speak to you so low the mic won't even catch it.
That's what I say. You're so low. So low, nobody heard it.
So not only is it $600 US, we're also talking about 600 pounds. You know what I mean?
For 600. 700?
My bad.
700
pounds in in Britain. For a euro, you're talking about 800 euros, and you're talking about basically 120,000 yen.
It's like $900.
Yes, you're talking about spending $1,000 on the system, and that again, we're talking about before
aftermarket prices,
before the aftermarket prices, and everything else that you might want as an addition. Like,
wow.
I understand that PlayStation has always, ever since the PS3, they've done these pro versions. I get that. I think with the PS5 itself, they created something that was so grand that a pro version is next to nothing.
Right. Like, and it's redundant.
It is.
Because I watched side by side of Spider-Man, looking side by side. What is the PS5 Pro doing that the PS5 isn't? I don't see it.
No.
And if you want to spend them, if you got the money and you're liquid enough to do it, go spend that money. It's cool. I'm not gonna hate on you for it, but it's not gonna be for me.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't understand going out and picking this thing up. Especially if I have a PlayStation 5 at home that is perfectly fine. I haven't even filled the fucking hard drive
Not
yet.
even close.
You know what I mean, dude? I still have plenty of space on something that was less than a terabyte.
And I have plenty of stuff to play.
Exactly. So, that was just one of those things, the price point on this was absolutely ridiculous. The way that it looks, they really didn't change all too much. When you really break it down.
And you know what else is weird to me? They announced it in a 9-minute live stream. That feels really underwhelming for the most powerful version of your console. 9 minutes?
Yeah, that's just kind of like, hey, guess what? And then just kind of just like walking off.
Here's what we're doing. It's $700. We'll see you in November.
No, I agree. So what I want to do right now is I want to give a little bit of a comparison on what you would see as an upgrade up to going from like a PlayStation 5 to a Pro. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
I just want to give everybody all the information that I can. So we only have a certain amount of like actual data. You know what I mean? Like the GPU is just something what they've told us. They only told us that it's 60%, 67% better with a 28% like better battery or what the fuck did I say? What did I say with the goddamn battery?
Is it faster?
Yeah, faster. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So again, 28% faster. What is that in real layman's terms? It's nothing.
And also, you're talking about systems that if you find a game with loading screens, ain't nobody ever going to touch it.
Right. We don't look at loading. We look at loading screens for like Baldur's Gate. But
Baldur's Gate, okay.
It's also very quick. It's like, here's a picture. Wheel goes up. Game.
100%.
Right. Like, think about it. 28% less of that. It's not really going. It's not worth $700 to me.
No. And the expandable storage is exactly the same.
Yep. As
the regular PlayStation 5. The external, the exact same. The optic drives, you have an optional 4K Blu-ray, which is the disc drive.
Yeah.
As opposed to just a 4K Blu-ray, which it's the same fucking thing. And like again, the absolute biggest thing is the price point.
Also, like the 8K, who do you know that has 8K on anything?
I don't know anybody.
Right. Again, that's somebody who's looking to just throw money out the door. Like 4K is perfectly fine. I'm good with 4K.
Yeah.
8K, do I even really notice a difference at that point? Maybe I would. I've never seen it.
Now, to break down a different, don't worry about it. Things are on the floor. I'm a fucking mess. Now we can go ahead and talk about the Series X, and we are also like when we talk about the Series X, we're talking about the variant that is the 2 terabyte version. You mean
Okay, cool.
The newest one that's going to be coming out. Into which, again, I'm going to say the same fucking thing. It ain't fucking needed.
No, it's really not.
That newer version of, you mean those the newer versions, you mean the 3 of them that they have coming out.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? Like I personally don't understand it. It just looks, again, just like a pure fucking money grab, especially with PlayStation doing this right now after they went ahead and just let go basically everybody. You know what I mean from one of the fucking developers just said they had a massive fucking layoff. And like the PlayStation like CEO was like, well, now they can go drive for Uber or something. You know what I mean, like just some really just like
was it the crew that did Concord?
It might have been. That might be it. I know I have Annapurna on my brain because they have, you know, they had a whole situation with like just walking out.
Yeah.
You mean completely walking out on the company and everything.
Good.
But yeah, so with the Xbox, if you want to break down the Xbox, again, you're not seeing a difference. They both have a 16 gigabyte RAM. They both have the same CPU. The main thing you're probably going to see is out of the GPU, but at the same time, all the Pro is really going to do is just get you closer to what the Series X was doing to begin with.
Right. Because the Series X was the more
powerful.
Right.
Yeah. It might not have been like the best console between the two.
Right.
I mean that part's always going to be up for. Opinion.
Microsoft has always been like, we're going to make the most powerful console and put it on the market, and then what they do with the games is a different discussion. But you know, the hardware's always been incredibly capable.
Yeah, and external storage. You mean it's basically going to be. I mean they have the Seagate 1 terabyte, you know what I mean, drop on their things. And then you have the backwards compatibility, which again, PS4 games and then PSVR, and with Xbox, we have the same compatibility that we have been having with every fucking generation.
Right. Which I think is a good thing. Like I think abandoning their backwards compatibility would be a real mistake.
I also agree with that. I think that you could have really done something special with being able to have like PS2 games being able to be played on like the PS4.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
there's some bangers back there, dude.
But regardless of that, when I show my kids
right.
what I played,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I can do that with the Game Pass.
Right. Like David and I are playing Master Chief Collection.
Yep.
And that has a feature where you can use the updated graphics or the old graphics. We're playing through Halo 1. So he was like, I want to see what it looked like. And I was like, no, you don't. And he goes, yeah, I do.
No.
So we played one of the first levels. And
I remember switching that.
Man, it's ugly. It's ugly. Bad. Yeah, that extra layer of polish did it some good.
Yeah, so what they're really doing with the Pro, at least from what I'm seeing, and look, I'm not a hardcore PS5 guy. I'm not a fucking hardcore Xbox guy. Honestly, I just want to be able to play games with my friends. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't care if it's on either one of those. I don't care if it's on Switch. Like, it really doesn't fucking matter to me. I just want to be able to throw down with my boys.
Right.
And all the PlayStation Pro really is doing right now with a $700 base price is giving you what we got from the Series X at a $550 price.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or something along those lines. I mean, depending on when you got it, where you got it.
Right.
I'm hoping that we get more from this. I'm hoping that we learn more and it actually is a true Pro version. You know what I mean? But the way I'm seeing it right now, and this is for both systems. This is for both consoles. A more pro version of these consoles is irrelevant.
It's funny because we're talking about these two, but at the same time, kind of wanting a more powerful Switch.
I mean, we also have to remember that the Switch was technically the first of the new gen.
Right.
So when the Switch
That's what I'm
first
saying.
came out, it came out years before. You know what I mean? These two had their time in the spotlight. So I agree with you. 100% agree with you. And that's why, I mean, with the new consoles that everybody's been hearing about and them creeping about and leaking about and everything else, I'm hoping that we get something that's more powerful that can handle more.
But Nintendo's never been that company. They've never cared about being the most graphically dominant. It's never been a thing.
They have their seat and their butt is molded firmly.
It's perfect. It's perfectly when they get up, the cheeks are just right.
It just stays. All right, so I mean honestly, that was basically what I wanted to give you guys with this episode. I wanted to go ahead and throw down and have somebody else be able to give you, obviously another opinion on this, but it's two people talking that have both systems.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we've thrown down with our friends on both.
Yeah.
No fucking problem. And it's just the fact that you're asking for more money and you're not necessarily getting more.
Not getting any more value. You're absolutely right.
Not really. So I'd say, me personally, I'm going to stick with my PS5. I'm not going to go pro.
Yeah, no.
Mike, you going to go pro?
Ain't no chance. The way my kids are set up.
There ain't no checking or saving. That's
just it's just zero all the time. I don't even know what happened.
Woo! All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into a little bit of what are we playing?
Ooh.
And I'm going to go ahead and give this one again because it's fun. Yeah, I think that is the music.
Good job.
I can't remember. I pulled that sample so long ago. I'll go ahead and I'll start off with this. I'll just go ahead and make it nice and simple. I've been, since last time I've talked about this stuff, I've been playing a little bit more of Portal 2.
Nice.
On the Switch. I've been fucking with that on my Switch Lite.
Didn't you play it on another console?
I played it on the Xbox, not the 360, so it would have been the one.
Right.
Because I played that game to nauseum for a long ass time. You know what I mean? Because
it's a fun game. It was fun discovering that Dan likes that game.
Yes, and for anybody who hears us or knows us talk about Dan or has heard Dan on the podcast himself, he is not a man of the platform persuasion.
No.
Not at all.
Not even a little.
So the fact that he actually enjoyed the game, because I remember he and I would talk about the game a lot.
Yeah.
But other than that, what I've been actually having a lot of fun with, and we were talking about it before we cut the mics on, my wife and I have been jumping into Mario Kart 8 a lot this week. We couldn't find our copy in the house. Just couldn't fucking find it. No idea where it went. My house ate it. Don't know. I shit it out somewhere else.
You'll find it in the worst possible time.
So just saw a great fucking deal. Basically like a 60% off deal. For
that never happens in Nintendo games.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
For Mario Kart 8 plus 2 Switch Joy-Con steering wheels.
Oh, that connects some dots for me personally.
So with that, my son has become obsessed with playing Mario Kart.
Right.
And I love it because he plays on 100cc and he wins.
Good.
A 5-year-old playing on 100cc and he
gets
fucking man. First place, the whole fucking 9. And we actually did have one night where all 4 of us played.
Oh.
So it was all the boxes were filled. And that was something.
That had to be kind of nostalgic for you, right?
It was, honestly, so the fact that my daughter was to my left, my son was on the opposite couch sitting next to my wife, and my wife is also playing. For me, it was such a surreal thing because we haven't really had that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of like connection with a game.
Yeah.
Because like the kids started messing around with the Bluey game that's on Game Pass.
Oh yeah.
But Logan hasn't grabbed the controls as fast as Elena. He hasn't held that controller that much, so he really doesn't know it too well. And plus, he's small for his age. You know what I mean? So so the controller's fucking ginormous.
It's it's not original Xbox controller.
No, but it's for him. It should be. It might as well be. Jeez, but it's been so much fun. It's been and I'm not even gonna bullshit. When we're done here and you leave, I'm probably gonna go ahead and run some more games with Jess.
Good.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be a good time.
Get it in.
Other than that, I'll let you explain. What we've been doing because we've been running a little bit with the guys.
We are crawling, and I really mean crawling, like an hour and a half at a time through Baldur's Gate.
We are grown men with jobs. Most of us have children.
Right.
And I gotta wake up at motherfucking 5 o'clock in the morning, dog.
Right.
I can only play till a certain time.
So no, I'm right there with you, and it's so we're crawling through. We've made it into the third act in Baldur's Gate. Have you beaten the game yet?
No.
Okay, so are we at the point where we're in uncharted territory for you?
Yeah, for the most part.
Awesome, I love it. All right, so I get to experience it with Dan and with you, and it really is the most chaotic playthrough. I'm just. Like I still remember the time where I told the Githyanki god she can go fuck herself essentially, and then she was like, "I wish you were dead," and then it said game over. I was like, "Did she just use the wish spell?" And I was like, "She used the wish spell."
And she did.
We died.
She wiped the entire fucking squad.
And that was early.
That was so funny, so fucking funny.
The interesting thing is we don't get to use and see any of the side character stories develop.
No, it's all just main character run.
Right. So it's very interesting to me.
So like the side characters are really side. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're the shit that we do for them is so fucking random as opposed to what we do.
Shit happens, but y'all don't actually matter to us. Whereas in my playthrough, like I was in love with Karlach, like so many people were, and like I kept Gale in my party at times, and then there's all these all these characters, in the party. I had Asterion for a little while, and then I had
he's good to have an act too.
I had Will for a little while, and then I settled on Karlach and Shadowheart and Lae'zel and me. I was a Dragonborn druid and. Very fun.
That sounds just bonkers,
dude. I gotta show it to you sometime. Outside of that, I am doing a little Jedi Survivor. Haven't played it in a little bit, and
I think I might still be farther along than you.
Oh, I know you are.
I went through like 2 or 3 weeks where I was playing a pretty good bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to continue because I turned the difficulty down. I just
fine.
I just want to be able to just run through the story and just enjoy.
No shame in that. I've been thinking about spinning up Helldivers again. Like it's been on my mind a lot lately.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, look, the vehicle thing is definitely something that I'm curious about.
Yeah.
And I mean, the game does deserve another attempt at, at pulling me back in.
Right. Now, and I'm also thinking about going back into Starfield because they added a vehicle too.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see what changes they've made since I dipped out.
And also towards the end of the month, I believe we also had the DLC drop.
The DLC, right. So, there's a lot on the plate that I'm considering, and then Astrobot, that's a game.
And here's the funny thing about that one. When I buy that, it's not mine.
Not mine. No.
Elena loves.
Nolan also loves it.
Loves. I mean, look, that's just an ADHD kid's fucking pure joy.
Yes, and it's the controller, right? Oh, shake it, tilt it this way, do this, blow on the front, like Like, I remember when it's the spring and he has to tilt it and hold and then shoot it off. Like he like you'd see in his face at first, it was difficult for him to put together, and then once he started doing it, it was so fun. It was so fun.
The first time that Elena was doing it, she had me do it. She just couldn't grasp it. And once she realized what to do, which within the same play day.
Right, yes.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't take long, but once you get it.
Once she figured it out, then she just started just flying through. I mean, like, her favorite was the monkey.
Yes, because you do the zip up. Yeah. I was just thinking about to say that.
Even that. But I mean, also, like, when you have to, like, use the controller to go ahead and grab each like placement hold, like, it's just fun.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
And it's a good. It's a good time to. With your kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really good game that can bring the generations together. Right.
You want to see them grow into capable gamers, right? Yes. And it helps, like, those little steps you see, and it means a lot. It means a lot as an adult.
Absolutely. All right. So here's what's going to happen. I'm gonna let Ant go ahead and do the part that I love having him do, especially with that accent he uses.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're going to go ahead and just run this whole thing out. So, Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course,
for jumping on with me. I appreciate you jumping in for this nice little 35-minute run.
Listen to Team Clock, motherfuckers.
Yo, definitely. You already heard it early in the episode, so we're going to go ahead and tell it again. Team Clock, Natural One D&D Adventure. Come check it out. We are still in the beginnings of Act 2.
Yeah,
and it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to push him. I'm trying to push him into the meat, but they just they don't. They do what they want.
We're very timid sometimes, but I have no transition.
Glorious! It's a glorious day today, and it's Saturday, and we're going to connect with CGC. You can find us at consolegamingcrew.com. You can find us at our email, which is consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle, by the way, is at consolecrew. YouTube and Instagram are both Console Gaming Crew. If you check us out, check out Boss Rush Network, which is bossrush.net. Great place. There's lots of things you can find there, aside from us. Great people. By the way, Twitch should be returning at some point. It is CGC Podcast. We have co-op Mondays, and we're going to do something fancy for Fridays. I don't know yet. But that's where you can find us. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.
This was a show from
6 years old, maybe. Productions.